going to be, and then if you have any alterations required in training methodology, you can let me know. All right. I'm trying to share my screen.
Okay.
Confirm if you can see that.
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Introduction to business analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'll be doing is I'll be taking you through the course content, what we are going to cover, all the topics. Okay? So, and then what is how we are actually going to approach towards learning all these concepts. Why? Because there are many sources available. Still, why should you come to me from training perspective? So that's the thing I would like to introduce here. And then some of the concepts which are important for us, our business analysts to understand. I'll be taking you through them as well. Right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
about myself, yeah. Myself, I'm Dilip Kumar. I have been working as a business analyst for past 14 years in industry, and I got an opportunity to play the role of project manager as well for a few projects. So around 5 projects I have completed as project manager as well for around 5 years more. And then I was into multiple roles as well. So because we too had our own firms as well, IT consulting and then job consulting, these kind of firms were there. So I got an opportunity to work on many multiple roles, luckily. So, and then even with all MNCs also I worked as a pre-sales executive, and as well as the currently I'm working as a senior business analyst and agile scrum practitioner cum coach. Okay. So in our organization we have the Center of Excellence for Business Analysis. I'm heading that one as manager now. So where we have around 40 business analysts in our organization itself. So we are trying to find out common problems and then their solutions for them. So that kind of research work is going on. So that is also giving me an opportunity to share some of the issues with other people experiences as well. So primary purpose of introducing the training and then helping the people is to bring actually what is happening in real world. As it is, the definitions and terms and technologies, everything you can learn online. But what is exactly it's happening, how it is being implemented in real life is differing actually. It's not the same way as we learn. Right? The bookish thing and then practical things are differing. So that's where actually I would like to introduce these concepts to people along with the practical exposure, what is happening in each and every organization and how it might be handled. So for example, stakeholder engagement or stakeholder management is a term which we use. So engaging somebody for some purpose, we can understand that easily, but how exactly it happens, what are the different challenges over there, all such kind of concepts I'll be taking it through in a practical way. Okay. So that's the intention of offering these trainings. So I have interviewed many people also. Then I realized that people are not actually knowing what is business analysis. They're just understanding in their own way how it's been misinterpreted, multiple things. So similarly, this also that has been misinterpreted, especially with the advent of Agile. Things have changed a lot. Previously, when I started my career, it was waterfall model, which was one of the methodologies to develop the software, which we used to work on. It's a very good old classic technology technique. But nowadays it's been moved on to Agile. It's also one more methodology to develop the software. So in that one, contribution of business analyst has actually changed in a different way. The same contribution, the way of handling the things have changed now. Okay, so we'll be working on requirements, managing the requirements, managing the stakeholders, modeling the requirements. All those kind of concepts will remain same, but how you perform will be a little bit different. So that's the point of confusion for many people. And then I'm certified as CSP OCSN. There is a certified Scrum Master, certified Scrum Product Owner. And then I'm a yoga instructor as well. So for personality development, interview preparation, as well as the time management, goal setting, stress management, all these kind of trainings as well, online and offline. I'm currently residing in Bangalore, India. Yeah, it's about myself. Would you like to know anything here? All right. So,
Uh,
yeah, Subhash, go ahead.
oh, no, that's fine. Sorry, go ahead.
So in between, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I would like to keep the sessions interactive. So I'll be asking you whether you are following or not, or some questions so that you can answer. Right. So be alert, as well as maintain one notes so that you can take down notes as well. Not only for this one, for all the sessions. Right. So the syllabus-wise, course outline-wise, if I'm talking about, then we'll be starting with understanding what is Agile, what is the Agile and Scrum framework especially. So Scrum, Agile principles, Agile values are common at Agile level for all the different methodologies of Agile. There are few other methodologies as well. Scrum is one such kind of methodology to develop the software. So we'll be understanding deeper in about the Scrum related aspects, the Scrum ceremonies, artifacts, roles, events, all these things we'll be understanding in a detailed way. How exactly it will be working, and then what we have to contribute as business analyst. From that perspective, we'll be understanding Scrum framework. Then fundamentals of business analysis. So it'll be again, this is the portion I told. Irrespective of methodology, these things are mandatory for you to learn. Okay. So what is the requirement? How we have to identify them? How to classify them? Which sort of requirements we have to identify? How to do all those related preparation activities? And how to elicit the requirements. Elicitation is nothing but taking out the requirement from the respective stakeholders. So how we have to do, what sort of techniques we can apply there. Okay, all these things we'll be learning there. And then requirement modeling, this is the documentation portion of it. So what are the different documentation techniques we can apply in Agile especially. Okay. And then how to manage the change request whenever there is a change request coming in. So the functionality you might have developed a software perspective, you might have developed or you might have proposed some process change. So in those cases, they might again request you to do something else. So how you can accept the changes and then move forward. And role of business analyst in Scrum ceremonies again. So there might be the situation where you will be contributing to business analyst. Why? Because Scrum doesn't have business analyst role as such. So Scrum has identified 3 other roles like product owner, Scrum master, and a cross-functional team. There is no explicit role for business analyst as it is, but still we can contribute to Scrum projects as well. So that we'll be understanding what is our role, a business analyst role at different stages of Scrum, like Scrum ceremonies, release planning, okay, and then outside the project of Scrum, apart from the Scrum related activities, how you can contribute to a project. So in those cases, we'll be learning how to create user story, how to manage the product backlog. Don't worry about the terms for now. So and then how to refine how to conduct grooming sessions, what sort of things we will be discussing there, what sort of issues you will be facing with the team, how you have to overcome them, and then okay, what all the different challenges we'll be getting on. Okay. So all these things we'll be learning here. And then business analyst role in release planning. So release is nothing but you want to deliver something which is useful to the business. Okay, so we'll be learning about a lot about release actually. So we'll try to plan all of that. So what sort of things we can consider when we are releasing one product to the business, and what all the features we can take, how to prioritize them, okay, how to support the development team members, and then related testing activities. All these things we'll be learning, and then practically that some of the techniques which are all required for conducting these activities, we'll be practicing them too. And role of business analyst outside the Scrum. So apart from this Scrum development, you might have to contribute to project by managing the stakeholders, which might be again upcoming requirements, or for ongoing requirements, you might have to collaborate with other stakeholders, and then monitoring and controlling the requirements. What is happening with these requirements and all, you have to practice. Finally, we might have to take the sign off from the stakeholders before we will actually proceed further. So it might be initial stage of the beginning stage of this particular project, or it might be in between, or it might be for upcoming project. We might have to take certain sign-offs or approvals. Those things we'll be learning what exactly such kind of things are happening, how we can contribute that. And then at different stages of project also we can actually contribute. So like conducting as is study, or proposing the to be proposed state, and then the process related activities, process modeling, how we can use process for managing the projects. Okay. And then proposing solutions from business analyst side. If you are proposing a solution, how actually you can come up with a solution, and what sort of things you need to consider when you are proposing a solution. All these kind of things we'll be learning in a detailed way. And then how we can add value to the business. So what is the value from business perspective, and how we can actually add value to the business, and all these things we'll be learning. So it's not mandatory that we'll be going in the same order for all of these. Again, situationally we'll be covering everything. But however, these are all the topics we are going to cover. We'll be starting with the understanding Agile and Scrum framework and our contribution in Scrum related projects. Okay, any questions so far?
I have a question. Is this course outline, is it available to us somewhere if I wanted to take a look at it? Because I was writing notes, but I wasn't sure. I know I'm not going to be able to be quick enough to write all of them down.
Sure. I'll share this one. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll share.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah, Swati, you have something to say?
No, I'm good.
All right, perfect. All right, so next comes what are the things we are trying to learn is some of the techniques which are all required for us to manage our day-to-day activities as a business analyst. So related techniques we'll be learning. Okay. So these are all knowledge
Okay.
areas identified by IIBA. What is IIBA? I'll be covering up. So knowledge areas means the specialized knowledge which you should have as a business analyst, as recommended by some one of the standard bodies in the international market. So nowadays, again, as I told, right, these are all more applicable for waterfall model, but nowadays still these portions can be considered for our agile also. We'll be covering them up anyway. So we'll be trying to see what are the different techniques we can apply when we are performing some of these activities. Right? So like business analysis, planning and monitoring, elicitation and collaboration, requirements analysis, design definition, solution evaluation, requirement lifecycle management, and strategy analysis. These are all the things which I have already covered, saying that what will be our role in doing release planning, how to add a solution, how to identify the value, and adding value to the business. All these concepts are from here only. So these knowledge areas, from knowledge area perspective, there is a standard terminology which people use. So that we'll try to look into what exactly it is and then what we can contribute there and what sort of techniques we can use in Agile to cover up all these knowledge areas. So what we will be having, so we'll be learning all the things, hands-on will be there, more of hands-on will be there with a proper blending of theoretical portion. Without understanding theory, if you jump for a practical, it won't be sufficient or it won't be meaningful. So we have to understand what the concept is. If you are understanding that very clearly, then practice will be very smooth. That's how the approach would be. So it's not that you have to ignore the theoretical part and we need only practical means only practical will go. In that only practical approach, what happens, you will be limited to only one view. You won't understand the concept and whatever you practice, you remember that portion only. If something else is checked with you or if you are supposed to work on something else, then you can't really work on that in a proper way. So we have to understand the concept first. At the same time, enough practice we have to do. From that practices perspective, I'll be taking you through the related topics. I'll be giving you assignment kind of things you have to work on. If you are not working on, then it will not be working out for anyone. Right? So to make maximum benefit out of this training, definitely you have to contribute. You have to take out time. We'll always will have beautiful excuse saying that I'm occupied, I'm busy or something. Yes, I too have that excuse for me, but still I'm taking out time for you. Similarly, you have to take out time for yourself, right? Again, we are working for you. I am also working for you. You will have to work for yourself.
Yeah, sure.
This is a sincere request from my side. You have to properly work on, or otherwise the sessions will not be fruitful for you. Again, it will end up as one more critical session for you, in spite of having multiple opportunities to practice. Okay, I'll be keep on reminding you to practice again and again, yet again, up to you to decide how you can go ahead. So here we'll be learning multiple techniques related to the prioritization, health station, modeling, requirement story creation, how to add detailing and acceptance criteria, test intent documentation, what is that and all. We will understand from technical perspective like the how people ask. Technology here in the requirements of the business analyst world will be not be the programming language, Java, software. So you might have heard something, Java, C++, .NET, something like that. Don't worry much about that. Technical part is about all about the requirements only. Whatever we discuss about requirements are the technical terms and technology for us. Okay? From that perspective, we'll try to understand how we have to model them, what are the different modeling techniques available, how to create user story, how to prioritize the backlog, everything we'll learn. Technical techniques we'll be learning at the same time practically what exactly we are doing in real world, right? As I told, really how exactly we are following that. Are we really applying the technique or we are using something else to prioritize the stories and all? Everything I'll be clearly taking you through and I'll be giving you enough opportunities for you to practice. You have to practice so that you will get more exposure towards the techniques and everything. So I'll be picking up examples from the project only. So whatever the projects I have worked on and currently we are working on, I'll be taking references and examples from them only so that you can actually understand clearly how exactly it's happening. Right? Any questions so far?
Nothing. It's just that we need all this information in somehow like a copy or email, and that should be good.
Great.
So whatever you said, no, I pretty good. I understood a bit, not so much, but if we get this material, it will be helpful for us. That's it.
Sure, that we will do. And then anyway, so the demo topic was, these are all the things I would like to demonstrate quickly. So what is definition of business analysis? Why we have to analyze? Here also we'll be learning some of the concepts. It's not that the topic will be going just like a demo. We'll be learning the fundamentals of business analysis here itself. We'll start learning them. And then role of business analyst. Again, that's not so important for now. Competencies of a good business analyst. This is also important, which we'll be going through now. Okay, let me put you this question. To Subhash actually. I have already checked with Sarthi. So to you, what is business analysis from your understanding, Subhash?
And I think briefly, if I were to say that, I would say a business analyst would be the role of a business analyst is being a liaison between the business itself and then the IT team. Overall, the role pretty much entails being able to. I like to, in a simple form, I would say you consider yourself as a waiter who would take the order from a customer and give it to the chef, and the chef would make it, and then you present it to the business in simple terms. Obviously, then if you go in details, there's going to be more details of what exactly entails into the role, but that's pretty much a basic understanding.
All right. Let us not judge whether it's right or wrong. So I'm not bothered about right or wrong thing. So I got your understanding on business analysis. That's great. Fine. Let me introduce this way. Say, for example, I would like to start my business. I just got motivated by somebody. I don't know who is, but I got motivated and then I wanted to start my business. Then you people being business analysts, right? I'm already assuming that you people have very good acquaintance with business analysis. And I approached you guys to recommend me something which I can do. Right? Then what you will be asking with me? What will be your question?
I would say, what are you looking to do?
All right. So what I'm looking to do is, Swati, what you would like to know from me? I want to start business.
I actually did not understand. I was confused. Can I get that again? I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I want to start a business. Right? So
Okay.
you being business analyst, I'm approaching you to recommend me something. So I'm asking you, what will be your question for me?
I would like to know what are your interests and what you want to do business. So on that basis, I think I can suggest you something.
Right.
I would also want to know what kind of a business you're in, and what's the current business you're in right now, and where do you like to take it? For instance, like as is and to be.
Right. Great. That's great. So I didn't had any business, so I don't have also currently. So I would like to start fresh, right? So after analyzing many things, you might have decided that I can go ahead with some offline store, okay, offline shop or store, whatever it is. So there I can sell some items, and then I can also. So as I told, right, why I want to start means I want to generate revenue, obviously, and then I want to provide opportunities to many people. I want to make my name in world of business, and I want to be owner of business. I don't want to work as an employee, and I want to achieve something in my life. Maybe a certain kind of feelings I might be having. So all these are all the reasons which actually I want to start my business. So after understanding all these kind of concepts, you recommended me to start my business as an offline store. So it's a shop in general, right? As you know, the store. So I opened my shop and then 1 year passed on. So first anniversary, again, I invited both of you and we discussed what has happened to it. And then taking positive scenario, I earned decent profits in first year itself. I could able to manage the show properly. And then I wanted to think about expanding further or what I can do further. Then again, you people recommended me to start now online business, something similar to our Amazon, right? So here, again, you asked me to become a competitor, bless them, then people moved on. So again, 1 more year passed on. Let us see what has happened after second year. That's not bothered about it. So 2 years have gone, and then I have currently offline as well as online business with me. All right. Now,
Okay.
so if you observe carefully, before I could start my business, I was having nothing with me. I didn't had any business with me, and then I started something. You recommended me to start an offline business, offline store, then zero to something, right? Something, and then something to something more. That is offline to online. I had something already with me, and it's becoming something more. So zero to something, something to something more has happened. What is that zero to something, something to something more is? can be called as a change. Some change has
Yeah.
come, right?
Yeah.
So if you observe, what you people have done, you people enabled that change actually. You people recommended with that one, the change has come. That means you people have enabled the change. How you have enabled? You understood what are all the different needs of mine. Like I want to earn money, I want to provide these jobs to people and all such kind of things you have understood. And then you recommended solution. Okay, let us start offline. Then go for online. All these kind of things you have done. So you people have enabled the change by defining the needs and recommending solutions. So the people recommended solutions, offline, online, all these things are solutions. Right? By that one, what has happened with that? I could able to satisfy my needs. I am able to generate revenue. I am able to give opportunity to people. All these things have happened. That one I am happy. So that has added value to me. Right? With that activities, with the proposals which you have given, with your recommendations, I could able to see some value. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Here, I am considered as a stakeholder, the person who is interested in this particular thing. For now, remember, I am the stakeholder. So, if you put everything together, the people enable the change by understanding or defining the needs, recommending solutions, which has added value to me, to the stakeholder, which has added value to the stakeholder. This is known as business analysis.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
What is the difference between a stakeholder and a product owner?
I'll come to that. Okay. Can you give me some time? I'll be covering up that one.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Don't worry, no worries. You can just ask me the question. Anyway, I'll be covering up the same thing. Right? So now let me present the definition something like this. Business analysis is the practice of enabling the change in an enterprise, in a business, by defining needs, recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. So whatever you are recommending, it's not you are not recommending just for sake of recommending. That's actually adding value to the stakeholder. Stakeholder is the person who is getting impacted by that particular initiative, whatever it might be. It might be business, it might be a project, whatever it might be. If it is there, then you will be getting impacted, either positively or negatively. Okay, so all these people are stakeholders. For example, taking an example of Amazon, I think you people are familiar on shopping with Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let us take example of Amazon. In that case, what happens? So the Amazon, as it is the whole team, business team, and their IT team, right? All these people are stakeholders, and then we being buyers, we are also stakeholders. Customers to Amazon, we are also stakeholders, and at the same time, people who are all getting associated with Amazon, like the sellers who are getting listed on Amazon, they are also stakeholders. Right? And any auditing bodies or any governing or any compliance related bodies are all there. They are also stakeholders. Right? The people who are all associated with that particular initiative, the business, all are stakeholders. Then little bit difference between stakeholders and shareholders. Shareholders are also stakeholders, but shareholders will be investing money into this particular business. Right? But all
So,
sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you in between. Stakeholders doesn't invest anything, but I'm sorry. So you said stakeholders invest money, or
Yeah.
I did not.
Shareholders will hold share of the business actually. They are also stakeholders.
Yeah.
Stakeholders you can consider it as interest. People who has interest in that particular business. Why you are interested in that business? I want to buy the products from that business. That's what my interest is. Right? Whereas
Okay.
shareholder interest will be, he would have invested the amounts in any terms. Like I'm not so being very specific on whether they have invested a preferential shares or a public share. I'm not going to that way. I'm just saying that shareholder portion will be holding some share in the business. Their interest is that one. So they are also stakeholders. Shareholders are also
Okay.
stakeholders, but all stakeholders need not be shareholders.
Okay. Got it.
Shareholders are small portion of stakeholders, subset of stakeholders. Now,
Okay.
the question answer to this one, Subhash question, like product owner. Now, product owner belongs to IT team. Okay, or in general, the person who is working on the product development is the product owner. He might be coming from IT team or he might be coming from business team. That person will have good understanding about this. And now you can say who is a stakeholder. Is he a stakeholder or not? Can you tell me that, Subhash?
Uh, stakeholder. Can you repeat the question again? Who's here as the stakeholder and who's here as the shareholder?
No, I'm talking about product owner now.
Yep.
So now can you tell me product owner is stakeholder or not, and what is the difference between these two?
Okay, so the product, you said the product owner can be from the IT team and it can also be from business.
Yes.
In this situation, enables the enterprise to articulate needs and rationale for change to design and describe. So, product owner can be a stakeholder.
Yes. Product owner
It
will be a
cannot be.
stakeholder, definitely.
Yep.
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 That's
Yeah.
the difference. So, who is as you asked, right? What is the difference between stakeholder and product owner? Product owner is also a stakeholder only. Simply.
Yeah.
And what
Okay.
product owner does and all those things, anyway, we'll be understanding when we are understanding the Scrum related aspects. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
just to keep it very
So
simple,
does it?
is a stakeholder.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
Would it differ if, let's say, well, the names of the roles would be different if you have if a business is using waterfall methodology or using agile methodology, because I've worked in businesses where they call it a hybrid or they call it a wagile, which is waterfall and agile. But I think I don't want to confuse anything right now, so I will just stick to your agenda and we'll go from there, and I'll hold my questions till whenever I have time to ask you.
Yeah, definitely. So the hybrid method, we named it as a Scrum Fall model. Okay, that hybrid we call it as Scrum Fall. It is a Scrum as well as Agile and Waterfall. We call it a Scrum Fall.
That's a new one. Okay. Any different organization you go to, everybody have their own terminology for it now.
Yeah, actually what is happening, Agile has allowed everyone to adapt those Agile related methodologies in their own way. So though there is a certain framework which we have to follow, but the implementation can be a little bit different from organization to organization. Some of the
Yeah.
events might be merged, some of the events might be separated. However, we have to make sure that all those ceremonies or whatever are there identified under Scrum, they are all followed.
Uh-huh.
As long as you are
Okay.
able to manage that one, then that should be fine. And at the same time,
Okay.
people, it's a more of a mind transition. So people who have worked on
Mm-hmm.
waterfall, they expect that everything will be in detailed way, or otherwise they can't work
Mm-hmm.
further. The person with 10
Mm-hmm.
plus years of experience definitely would have worked with waterfall model. So automatically he
Mm-hmm.
expects that still that practice will be remaining here also. But here
Mm-hmm.
in Agile, we won't encourage to have everything upfront as a detailed way. Still,
Gotcha.
people will be expecting that they have to provide me those details. Then in that case, what
Mm-hmm.
happens? Again, we'll be following all the ceremonies of Agile. Still, we'll be providing
Mm-hmm.
details as we do in waterfall model. Then that becomes a
Mm-hmm.
Scrum fall.
Gotcha.
That's how it would be. So anyway, all those practical challenges I'll be taking you through. Don't worry. Okay. So now IIBA is the International Institute of Business Analysis, which was founded in 2004 October or somewhere. So they have set all standards for business analysis. Okay, gradually they have become very good standard organization for identifying how exactly business analysts should behave in development environment. Okay, the same business analysis concept. Beauty with business analysis itself is you can adapt all those concepts in your real life as well. Many of them, around 95% you can implement in your real life. Thereby what happens? You can improve professionally as well as personally. Because most of the business analyst concepts are related to uh, organized way of handling the things, organized way of thinking, approaching towards one concept or challenge. So it's more related to mindset. So definitely your mind will be carried in professional as well as in personal life. So if you're good at adapting all these concepts professionally or personally, you can do it in other side as well, right? If you are good at personally, if you are a very good organized thinker and your approach is very proper, or if you are modifying your approach that way, then same mind you will be using it for professional as well. So you can adapt the same mind there in professional too. Thereby you can be getting results in both sides. That's the beauty with business analysis. As I started my career as a developer as well, so I was into multiple projects as developer too. So thereby I'm saying that I observed that that possibility is not there with programming languages. When you go for other technology related things, you can't implement those things in your real life, normal life, either to understand or to improvise your style of living. Whereas business analyst concepts, you can definitely implement in real life as well. With that one, you can maintain balance between your professional as well as personal life. definitely you can improve on your standards in personal life too. Okay, or otherwise at least
Yeah,
it will be useful.
I just want to make a quick comment to that one when you said about the personal life.
Yep.
I was just talking to one of my friends. I was like, maybe we should write a book that talks about, how there's it's called BABIC, Business Analyst Book of Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
We said that we should write a book, something, because all the business analyst concepts, the requirements gathering, the design, development, and this go live, you can apply those values to when you're in a relationship with a woman or a man.
Yes.
So you can the goal live date will be eventually getting married, but then you also have to gather requirements and then designing and developing in a relationship. So I completely agree with you on that.
Yes, exactly. That's how it happens also. Yeah, I'll be giving you the normal real life examples too, with which you can actually remember the concepts in a better way. Okay? Need not by heart anything. You can easily remember that. Okay? I'll be
Yeah, thank you.
those kind of examples too. That's a great idea anyway. We can just work on this one. All right?
That sounds good.
Fine. So that's how IIBA has defined business analysis. So can you able to understand what exactly business analysis is now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very
Yes.
simple, like your friend has come to you asking for some favor. Then what you do, you
It's
understand
like
what the problem is.
guiding the organization with, with the principles, right?
Sorry?
It's like guiding the organization with the principles.
Yeah, first we have to understand what exactly they want and then we have to recommend accordingly. So as I told, right, if your friend is coming to you saying that, okay, I have some trouble, I need some favor from you, then what you do, first you ask him, okay, you ask him or her, what is your problem? What is happening? Why it has occurred, right? Then you recommend something. No, now do this thing. As
Yeah.
simple as that.
Like know it, understand it, and
Recommend.
suggest.
Yes.
Yeah, recommend it.
Yeah, right. Suggest.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's all about business analysis in a nutshell. Right?
Okay.
Anyway, again, how to do that one? Definitely there will be a process to do all those things. Those are all the things we'll be learning. Right? Then why we need to do business analysis? So there are many things. These are all some of the fundamental concepts which we should understand so that it will be easier for us to go forward. So first and foremost thing, how it would be the business context point of view. When I say I want to start my offline store, so I mean when you recommended me to start offline store, on first anniversary people met me and then you observe that I'm actually selling some banned drugs and then explosives kind of things. Right? I am selling banned drugs and explosives in my offline store. So is it what actually you expected me to do?
Oh, that's like terrorism.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not the thing actually you recommended me actually. You did.
Oh, I would definitely recommend you not do that.
So that's what the business context is about. What exactly I want to do there. So you might have recommended me to go for some retail. So retail might be, I might be selling the food products. I might be selling the medical equipment. I might be selling sanitary ware. Right? I might be selling something else, the FMCG goods like paste, brush, soaps and all. Or I might be doing this kind of activity. What exactly?
Okay.
That is the business context. So to understand this business context, set this business context means you have to understand what sort of things I would like to achieve. Say for example, if I'm keeping a target of becoming billionaire within 1 month or 2 months of duration, then you can definitely suspect I have something in my mind, which is not a proper thing to do. Because that's practically not feasible to me become billionaire within a month or 2 months. Right? So
Unless you get a jack.
yeah, either anything should be there, but through business, if I'm trying to achieve means there might be a possibility that I might be looking for something which might take me onto wrong path, right? Or there is a possibility that I might be planning for something which is not proper, right? So
Okay. Yeah.
if you can ask that question, thereby itself you can understand I might be planning for something. So thereby we'll get clarification what exactly I want to do. So that's the kind of thing if you would like to understand what are their goals, what is their vision, how they want to proceed further, what are the objectives, right? All these things if you can understand, definitely you can say, okay, this kind of business can be appropriate for you, because it depending on the different businesses, margins will also be differing, right? How much margin you can gain from that particular selling that particular product or providing the service, right? All these things will differ. So that is the business context, under which conditions business would like to be run. So retail, what sort of retail which you would like to do, right? You have to come up with the recommendation. To do these kind of recommendations, you have to first understand the business. That understanding business in a deeper way is nothing but business analysis. To keep it in simple terms, understanding the business in a deeper way. Why you want to understand in a deeper way? Because you would like to make some recommendation. Okay. So to set the business context, so what are the different goals, objectives which they can achieve also, you can recommend if they are recommending to some particular business. Okay, this is the business I would like to do. Then also you can help them to set their objectives and goals, which are feasible, which are practically possible. Right? So to set the business context, first you have to understand the business. Then only you can say whether it's achievable or not. Right? That's why we need the business analysis there. All right. And then
Okay.
stakeholder perspective, as I told, right, the people who are all getting impacted by your initiative, whatever it might be software development, or it might be the process related change, or it might be manufacturing unit, whatever you start, people who are all getting impacted are the stakeholders. Now, if, say for example, taking an example of HR management system, where HR would like to manage all the employee details and salary and everything related aspects. Now, who will be the stakeholders automatically? The people who are all participants of that particular department, as well as employees of that particular company. And then people who are all, again, helping them out from external, if at all. So all these people are their stakeholders. When it comes to finance department, people who are all involved in finance department and people who are all getting associated with finance department, like other department people and external people, they are all the stakeholders. Like this, if you go move on to each and every individual department, those will be different stakeholders. Again, if you are considering different businesses, again stakeholders will be differing. So to identify who will be the stakeholders, first you have to understand the business, right? So if I'm saying HR department, then you will realize, okay, in HR department, these people are the people who are all participating in this organization. That's why these people are the stakeholders. Again, in other department, these are all the people who are all participating, and these set of people are the stakeholders. So first you have to understand the business, then only you can realize who can be the stakeholders, right? You can't be like saying, okay, HR for HR management system, inventory management people are stakeholders. You can't just judge like that unless you find out a relation between both of them. Yes, inventory people are interacting with HR department for so and so purpose. That's why we can consider them as also as stakeholders. Or you should be able to say these people are not actually interacting with HR people, so we can't say them as stakeholders for this particular project, right? To judge something that way, you have to do business analysis, right?
Okay.
So to identify the
Yeah.
stakeholders, we need business analysis there.
Mhm.
Right? Then system context. So when you're trying to propose your solution, like the software, for example. So for example, in HR again, HR you might be familiar with most of the times. If I'm talking about HR management system again, the recruitment might be outsourced to somebody else. These people might not be handling the recruitment portion. They might have given that HR the recruitment portion to somebody else. And at the same time, they might have outsourced the auditing portion. They might not be conducting auditings in their particular office only. They might be outsourcing their auditing to external people. Right? There is a possibility. Sometimes the payroll management will also be outsourced. They'll be maintaining all the attendance and then related things. Whereas the like leave management, learning and development, all general employee management and benefits, these kind of things, the people will be keeping with them. Payroll management will be outsourced because these people might not be having enough skills to manage, or somehow some XYZ reason they would have taken and they would have outsourced the payroll management. Somebody else will be managing the payroll. Every month they have to send all the attendance details to the particular department, outsourced candidates, the company. Those people will prepare payroll and then they'll send back to these guys. Even with our organization, that's what is happening now. Okay. In those circumstances, if you are trying to introduce some process or if you are trying to introduce some software there, okay, that has to interact with the external software. Because I'm having
Mhm.
HR management system with me, that has to interact with the external payroll management system. I have to send details to them and then receive the payroll information.
So like front
Okay.
end, back end.
Yes. It's not front and back end. It's interaction between two systems.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay. So what I had to do, because I don't have, say for example, it's something like this. So you want to get a printout of your color printout of that particular, maybe what we call holding or something. So you don't have currently equipment with you. So what you do, you take that soft copy in your pen drive, go to some other institute, or some other location where they can print. You take a print and then come home. Here also the same thing. What is happening? I don't have payroll management system with me. I can't manage my payroll of my employees. So I am having the software with me. Those details I'll be through that software. I'll be sending those details to these people. These people will receive and then send me back the payroll information. So such kind of external systems with which this your system has to interact with. Okay? That is a system context. It could be system, it could be other process, external processes. For example, compliance check. Say for example, if I want to sell medical equipment, I want to develop one software to sell medical equipments or something. All those medical equipments have to be HIPAA compliant. Then only I can sell everything. So in that case, what is happening? Before I could start my activities, first I have to check for HIPAA compliance. So I have to be sending all those inputs to this HIPAA compliant people, governing body. Then I have to get an approval from them. What is happening? My system is interacting with external system. Right? So how I can decide again? If I know that this particular payroll management is not a part of my HR management system, then only I can say yes, something is required. There is one more external system. If I'm not looking into that one, then I can't understand that part. Right? So to understand that, setting the system context, to say what are the external systems with which we have to interact, what are the external processes with which we have to interact, that is nothing but setting the system context.
So is it like integration?
Yes.
Configuration?
Integration, yes.
Integration.
The technical.
Okay, integration and
I understand.
okay.
I understand. That's the integration. We call it integration. So interfacing and integration portions we would like to understand. Right?
Okay, I got a quick question. So what is the difference between, like, in this system context, if we're talking about the system context and we're on the same subject, what would be the difference between integration and migration?
Yes, migration is something about you'll be transferring the data from one system to other system.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Integration will be complete new upgrading from whole system.
Bridging that gap. Okay.
Integration is bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap. And then sending some data from here to there is the migration.
Gotcha.
Especially it will be referred in terms of old system to new system.
That's integration.
Yeah, that's migration.
Migration. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. So again, not to confuse much, Swati. So just concept system context.
I'm sorry, Swati.
Yeah.
So, no problem.
Just keep listening so that it will be helpful for you later on. All right. So don't worry about that. So the system context wise, this is what I am trying to tell you. So whatever you have, like you don't have a printer with you, you took that soft copy and then you went to printing press or wherever it is, and then took a printout. Same is the concept here. I don't have some portion of it. I might have to interact with the outsiders, or I might not be having that portion. I might be having everything with me. Still, I might have to interact with external process or external bodies. So all those things are system context. If you understand the business, then you can identify this is what actually is not there, which is there, which is not there. Everything you can realize. Okay. So to set the system context again, you have to do the business analysis. Then only you can understand what is there, what is not there, and what sort of integration is required. All these kind of things, right? So that's why we need business analysis again. All right. Then project context. So when you want to develop the software or when you want to propose some process change or something, so project is nothing but bounded by three things like what is the scope, what is the schedule, and what is the budget. What the work you would like to do, within what time, how much is the amount you are going to spend on that. Is nothing but a project. Okay.
What do you think is the three things? Scope, the budget, and scheduling?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
That will be a triangle actually. For project management triangle, that's a project management triangle. So, simple as that. What you would like to achieve? What is your task? What is the timeline? How much is your budget for that? The project. Now, we will be interested in understanding scope of it. Scope means what are the different things you want to do within that budget and schedule timelines. For example, in a month, I would like to have all these activities completed. For example, I want to paint a house. Okay, so maybe mansion, big mansion. If I'm taking, it might take 1 week to do that one. In general, if I'm completely doing it in a relaxed way, that might take 1 week, full 1 week to complete the painting. Now I'm saying it should be completed within 3 days. And what you say? Painting a mansion takes 7 days, but I'm asking you to complete it in 3 days. Let me know how we can do that. That's what question is to you.
Like how, like, can we do that by, it might it might be of more budget or something?
It might be of more budget, yes. How else you can complete that one?
Yeah, like if you want soon, then we have to go to the higher process or something like that, so
No,
that it
think
will
of
get it
simple
done.
lines.
So,
Just think in simple
First,
lines.
I need to know what do you want in the mansion?
Yes. So if I'm saying I'm not going to extend the budget, right? What
yeah.
you think about? Then you'll ask, where can I skip the painting? Which portion would
Okay.
you like to complete it first? Tell me, okay.
Somehow,
Can I manage this portion first? For 3 days, I can complete up to this portion. So let me know which are all the portions I can cover now. Because within 3 days, if you're not extending the budget, I'm not going to get more labor. With that one, I definitely can't complete anything. So only this portion is sure of completion. So let me know which portion you would like to complete. Say for example, 3 rooms I can paint. Which 3 rooms you would like to paint?
Mhm.
okay.
Any 3 rooms. I can paint only 3 rooms in 3 days. Now you decide and tell me which 3 rooms you would like me to paint. Then again I'll decide whether I can complete or not. Because 3 rooms are very big rooms, then again might be a challenge for me.
What
Okay.
what what category does this fall under? Scope, scheduling, or budget? To find out exactly what do you want me to finish.
That's the scope.
Scope, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So which portion if I say, okay, first 3 rooms, okay, one major in the living room and then 2 bedrooms. These three are enough for me for now, for 3 days, first 3 days. Then there is
Mhm.
no scope. If I say, yeah, I have enough budget, I can extend to whatever extent you might require, then you might complete entire painting, entire mansion within 3 days by engaging more
Mhm.
labor.
Mhm.
Should not be a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Again, to decide this thing, what you are doing actually, first you understood how big the house is, how much time it takes, all these things, right? Then only you can
Yep.
say, yes, actually it's not possible for me to paint everything within 3 days. I need more labor, I need this many labor, etc. You can decide something.
Mhm.
That is the project context. Again, to set the project context, which processes we have to consider for our project, whatever project you are working on, which are all the process we can consider, which are all we can't consider. Again, going back to HR management. So as we discussed it, the payroll management and recruitment are outsourced. So then when you are trying to automate your build some software or build some system for the HR management, then you will not be considering them. Then again,
Mhm.
how you understood that? Because you understood what is HR management system there, how they are actually working and what are the things available. Then only you are able to say, okay, these are all not there, so we can't consider them for our particular scope for this project. That's the
Mhm.
again that's the business analysis there. So to set the project context, you have to do business analysis.
Mhm.
Right? Any questions so far?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just confused with that integrity, or I don't know. You know,
I
that
know.
was the only thing.
Nothing. Integration is
You don't
one
need to worry about that.
very, very simple concept. Integration is nothing but you went from your home to the printing press to get your soft copy printed, right?
Okay.
So what is happening there?
Uh-huh.
Your home versus your printing press. What is happening there? Some integration is happening. Integration is nothing but collaboration between those two.
Okay.
Or otherwise, if you don't have anything to print, you need not go to printing press as such. The printing area, whatever it might be, the person with the printer, right? You need not go there
Okay.
unless you have something to
Yeah.
print. Right? So what is
Okay.
happening there? You are actually getting connected with that particular other thing, which is nothing but integration.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember it this way for now. Later we'll see what it is exactly and from technical point of view.
Okay.
So then comes
Yeah.
improving the productivity. Why we need business analysis? To improve the productivity. So productivity doesn't mean that you produce maximum number of items. It's all about, say for example, if I ask you a question like, uh, which sports you are good at? Subhash and Swati?
Which sports?
Sports you play. You played.
What's the
Play.
question again? Sorry.
Sports. Sports are games which you are good at.
I'm cricket. I'm really good.
Very good. Super. Swati?
Pool.
Cool. Very great. So Swati, you are selected for cricket team, and Subhash, you are selected for pool game.
I'm gonna drown.
Right? So what is happening there? You have capability in something else. I'm trying to put you in some other thing, which is not effective, which is not productive.
Yeah.
Right? So utilizing the resources in a proper way, in appropriate conditions to maximize the benefit, optimize the benefit in a way. It might be maximizing, it might be minimizing, but optimizing the benefits or the productivity point of view. So we might be having manufacturing unit which can produce 10,000 items a day, for example. 10,000 items are of poor quality. It's of no use.
Exactly.
If they
Yeah.
are constantly getting rejected, there is no point having 10,000 items produced in a day. We can't export, we
Yeah.
can't sell. It's a waste. So what should happen
Yeah.
there? Might be reducing the quantity, but quality should be managed appropriately. Right? So that should
Yeah.
be productivity. So how I can recommend that one? Say I have asked you which sports you are good at. Thereby I'm trying to understand what is your skill. Then I am recommending, okay, you can go into cricket, you should not go into pool. You can go to pool, not to cricket. So what is happening there?
Yeah.
I'm analyzing your skill set. Nothing but again, business analysis. Trying
Okay.
to understand
Yeah.
what the business is, what sort of quality it has to maintain, what sort of standards it has to meet. And then I'll be recommending, okay, don't focus on quantity, rather focus on quality. If I know what exactly business is doing, say for example, if I'm exporter, exporting qualities will be different, standards will be different. If I'm selling within the country, standards might be different, right? Compliances might be different, standards might be different, all these things will differ. So if I understand business, then only I can decide, okay, if I'm exporter means then these are all the standards I have to maintain for this particular product. If I'm selling within country means these are all the standards I have to follow. Right? If you are trying to recommend me that thing, first you have to understand what sort of business I would like to do and what exactly I'm trying to achieve out of this. Then only you can make my recommendation. That's nothing but again improving the productivity. There again, we are trying to use business analysis. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Then business is all about making money. Without money, it will become a service or charity. So
Oh
automatically,
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
how can you make profits? How can you make more profits? How can you increase the
But
profitability of a company or yourself?
by making good,
Yep.
uh, making
Efficiency. Yeah.
being efficient and productive, creating
Right.
innovative changes in the company,
Mm-hmm.
like understanding the requirement actually,
Okay.
keeping up with
Right.
that.
Providing quality products, quality service.
All right. So in a way, I'll keep it this way. Say, for example, if I can increase the revenue generation, whatever it might be, as you told, right, by offering quality products, by adopting appropriate marketing techniques, whatever it might be, right? So if I'm able to increase the revenue generation, I can make more profits. That's not only sufficient. I have to limit my expenses. I have to
Okay.
limit my expenses. If I'm generating more revenue and expenses are also increasing equally, then my profit will not be more. I can't increase my profit. I'll be getting maybe constant profit as it is. Say for example, every time I'm able to increase 10% revenue and expenses are also increasing by 10%. So what is happening? That means I have to limit my expenses. I should be able to fix my expenses.
Managing your finances. Yeah.
Yes, that has to happen. That might also not be sufficient. I have to reduce my losses.
Okay.
I have to
Yeah.
reduce my losses too. So increasing revenue, limiting expenses, reducing losses. If three of them can happen, definitely I can make more profits. Right?
Yes.
Agreed. So in this case, again, where are all the points where I can actually limit my expenses? Where are all the points where I can reduce my losses, where actually loss is occurring, why it is occurring, how I can prevent it, right? How I can reduce the impact of loss. All these things again, part of our business analysis only.
Okay.
And how exactly we are doing this business, then you can realize where exactly it is leaking out, and then where you can actually do these kind of activities. Right? That's where we need business analysis again. Agreed?
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions so far?
No, so far so good.
All right.
Yep.
So last but
Good
not
for me.
least, sorry.
No, I was saying good on my side too. I'm good. Yep.
Great. So one more question for you guys. So have you used the word daily routine? Daily routine word.
Yep.
Yep. What is that?
Yeah.
What does
Yes.
it mean?
Like every day the same thing.
Right? Why do you want to do that?
Wait,
Boring.
no. No, not at all.
So we would like to have one routine fixed for ourselves, right? In a day, or for a week,
Yeah.
for a month, for a year, almost the same thing. Why?
So it becomes a habit and
Yes.
becomes your second nature.
Right. So with that one, what is the benefit you are getting out of it?
Consistency.
Yes. Consistency, and you are becoming more effective, efficient. You know how to manage the time, where you
Yep.
can use it for your other purposes might be, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same is the case with business too. It should also have something performed in a standard way. It should
Okay.
not be keep on changing. If every day I change your routine, you will not be comfortable. Right? Like
Yeah.
the gym instructor or yoga instructor, how we change the routine. People will not be comfortable.
Right.
Yesterday they would have set their mind, okay, saying that okay, these are all the asanas I'm going to do, and next day we'll change all that routine. They'll be uncomfortable again,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what generally happens? So if you are keep on changing the way you do the things, definitely it will not be effective. Similarly, business also has to have standardized process in place. Process is nothing but some way of working. 1, 2, 3, 4 activities has to be done in a sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you understand how exactly it has been performed, then you can again recommend something. For example, you might have you ever visited any dietitian, dietitian or someone?
Meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that cases, what they would have done, they would have understood first. Can you please tell me what are our food habits? How your days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then they make recommendations saying that okay, with this one you have to follow this kind of diet chart. So what is happening there? They are trying to understand first what exactly you are doing, how exactly your routine is, and then they are recommending some change. Same is the case here. First you have to understand the business processes, then you can make recommendations. That understanding the business process is nothing but again business analysis,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
This is where again we need business analysis. In a nutshell, if you want to start a business or if somebody wants to close the business, business analyst is required there,
Okay.
Okay.
right? We will be,
So business analysis is a very integral part, plays an integral part in any business.
yes, that will be very integral part and then very crucial role because we will be as you the definition wise as you mentioned, right? Lesson between business and IT team. So it's you are
Mm-hmm.
kind of a translator actually. This
Yeah.
person cannot understand the other language. You have to listen to that person and translate and give it to this guy. This guy's language, the opposite party cannot understand. Again, listen from this guy, translate and then explain to the other party.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be working on those lines. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it will be very crucial. You will be the media for all the communication from business to IT. Okay. All right. So let us quickly understand what are the different traits like or the qualities of a good business analyst. Without these also, it will be business analyst, but I qualify it as good business analyst. Right. So personality related, attitude related things, which are all mandatory to have, or you have to be fast in learning something and fast in learning good things. What is that good thing here means? Which you need to learn at that moment. You have to learn that one. Subject might be having 5 portions of it, and you will be working on part 5. You need not learn one mandatorily. might be required to jump on to 5 and then learn. First you have to identify which portion you have to learn first. And then learn it as quickly as possible. That attitude is very much important because we don't know as a business analyst in which domain we'll be working on. You might be specialized in one particular domain, finance or HR or whatever it might be, but you don't know in which project will be deployed later on. You might have to work with different domains. You might have to work for different businesses, right? So thereby, definitely, though you might have experience, say for example, currently I worked more than 10 domains for now. Still, there are many things which I need to learn in those domains, as well as there are many other domains which I haven't touched till now. Right? So it will be continuous learning for us. So we have to keep on learning the new things. We can't restrict ourselves saying that, okay, I have learned 4 domains. Let us limit here only. So it has to be kind of continuous learning thing happening. And we should know which we have to learn actually. That's a good portion of learning I am referring to. And then fast means whenever you are deployed onto project, if you don't know something, you should be able to grasp something and then start running the show. Right? That's how it should be. And then critical thinking, analytical thinking. So you might not be getting enough information to decide something. For example, somebody is starting new business, as I told, right? Initially, the example, I want to start new business. There you might not be getting enough data from me. Still, you would like to recommend something. That skill you should be having. With minimum data, you should be able to derive some conclusion. Or if you are joining a company already which is established for many years, and then you would like to introduce some new thing into it, then you have to understand how the things are happening there, and then you have to recommend something. Based on the past data, previous performance and everything, you would like to recommend something new. It's an analytical thinking. These skill sets are required for you. How you can improve these skill sets means you can work on the puzzles, right? Online logical puzzles, these kind of things, right? You can work on to increase your abilities in this one. I don't say that you don't have that, but just to sharpen it further, right? So that will be the critical and analytical thinking, which are mandatory for you to have as a business analyst, right? Then one more mandatory thing, communication. So verbally and written communication should be very good. You should be able to manage that in a proper way. You might be frustrated, but you can't express your emotions, everything, verbally or in written. That's one thing. And then when you are trying to represent something, you are trying to explain some concept, and you are not organized. You don't know where to start, and you are getting confused or carried away by some other thought. Should not be the case. All these things are again communication, parts of communication only. And you have to make sure whatever you are trying to deliver is received exactly in the same way by the opposite person. It's not that you have told something, they received something. It's not the way. You might have played a game, right, in childhood, the communication game. The people will be sitting in a circle, right? All kids will sit in a circle, and then we whisper one word in the side, the person is sitting on right side to us.
Yeah.
That will be circulated. Finally, you realize that the word has been changed. Right? We would have played that game, communication game.
Yeah.
So it's a typical example actually. That's a typical example of reality. That's how it happens. I might be explaining you something. Now also I might be explaining something. You might be understanding it in your own way, which is not actually I expected you to understand. I might be imagining in one way and then explaining, visualizing something and explaining. You might be visualizing something else and then understanding. Then that's where actually I'll be asking, have you understood? Do you have any questions and all? So that I can make sure that you are understanding exactly what I want you to understand. Right? That's one of the key elements of communication. So all these things are very much important for us to maintain. If you are down at that portion, definitely have to work on that to improve. Right? That is mandatory. These two things are mandatory to have. Okay. Then domain knowledge. Yes, if you have some domain knowledge in finance or HR or ERP, whatever it is, subject related aspects, that is an added advantage for you. Why? Because if you understand one particular domain, it will be easy for you to correlate that one and then understand new domains too. If you don't have any experience, when you join a job, definitely will come to know about the domain. That's not a problem because already have good and fast learning ability. Right? So you can easily cover up that one. So don't worry much about domain knowledge if you don't have. If you have, that is definitely going to add value to you. Then comes similarly the optional one, database knowledge. So basic SQL queries related knowledge if you have, that is good to have. If you don't have, still you can work on and then improve. That's not an issue. And then domain modeling, will be covering some portion of it. That will be helpful for you to learn about it. Okay, so this basic SQL thing is also good to have kind of thing. If you don't have, don't worry. You can improve on that one gradually and at later stages. Then technical skills, Microsoft Office or Open Office, whatever it is, you should be familiar with sending out mails, scheduling the meetings, all those kind of things, using Outlook kind of tool, and then should be good at documenting kind of Word, PPT, Excel, these kind of things you should be good at. That is mandatory to have. You might go with Microsoft Stack, or you might go with OpenStack. That's not a problem. Okay. So, but you should be familiar with these kind of concepts. That is mandatory to have. Whereas other technical skills like understanding the basics of programming language or architecture related aspects, again, good to have. If you are not able to understand, no, nothing is going to harm you. But if you can understand, definitely will be added advantage to you. It's like extra cushion for you, right? Otherwise, it won't impact your work as it is, right? So these are all the some of the things which you should have. If everything is there with you, then you can be a good business analyst than normal business analyst, or otherwise also still will be business analyst. Don't worry about it. Gradually you'll be learning, because as I told, you'll have good and fast learning abilities. Definitely you can pick up on that portions which are all not having now, then become good business analyst too. Right?
Mm.
Any questions?
Question. Do
Yep.
you? Yes. Sorry.
Sorry, sir.
Do you provide the SQL like basic SQL training, or even like a little basic programming, or do you provide those, or